Hey guys, today I'm going to be taking a deeper look at Ence. Obviously had an extraordinary performance at the minor, only dropping one map, but just a bit of a deeper look into some of the great reads they had. They're actually very simple when you look at them, and I think that's something that makes them great, and also that you can probably call them mid-round or make variations to them mid-round. Just to give a bit of a context, sorry. This was the opening game against Space Soldiers on Train. And before this round, they ran a sort of an anti-eco strat where they just smoked the deep Z on B, and they just ran out without a flash dry and took fights. And they're sort of going to run a variation of this, but it's actually sort of a whole different strat, and I'm sort of going to show why, and also why it's so efficient. So they're starting off here, they're going to have X7 emulating sort of this Ivy default here. Just an aggressive flash, an aggressive molly. And the intention here is to get the CTs to either waste time or just deny the information. So switching over to the other part of the map here, we have them also trying to showcase a B default or a Hals default, whatever you want to call it. Molly, deep from Sergey, and a flash. And we can actually directly tell that they want to convey the fake defaults, since we have X7 running away and we actually have the remainder of people are just shifting, not wanting to show that they are in fact here, actually only dropping and F shifting. This was also Space Soldier's second buy after a reset, so they know they have a limited buy. Even if they have an op, they shouldn't be towards B, or Heavyman shouldn't be towards B in this case. And when you broadcast or when you showcase, when you fake utility and a default like this, like the chain default we have in this scenario where they want to show the Ivy and the Hall's default, and one guy probably posted somewhere outside T-Con just holding passively. What they want to do is they want to get a man away from B. Even if it is just initially, like you have that con rotate going away from inside, you don't want the op posted on lower or posted on upper from like stop sign or something. And we see even if it's been more indirect because they have low utility, Space Soldiers have taken more aggressive angles. See Paz trying to take pop here, Calyx on a very aggressive angle to fight towards main, and Yam still posted Ivy. Anyway, just moving on to the strat now. There's really no more time that's more efficient than now to just execute, and they know this, so hltv is just gonna throw this deep con smoke, just gonna pop one flash over. Serg is in the most expendable person, he's in the most forward position, has the less utility, and they just have the sight by now. Ariel just runs in behind and trades. So just gonna use some of their utility now to not even let Space Soldiers entertain the idea of retaking, and you see they're gonna back off pretty quickly, knowing that they have no time to establish their own positions to get into this retake. I kind of also want to criticize Major for the position and how he played. Obviously, it's an unexpected like crunch that they did, and he wants to play in a position to fight. But when you just play like this, I think you should be criticized. You're not doing the most for your team here, and I think it's partly his fault that they lost the round. Moving on to the next example versus Wendigo here. I again want to look into and highlight how Ence uses the info provided into the round, but also how they use what they gain throughout the round. So just starting off with here, again they're playing against a lesser buy, but it is a force nonetheless. Allo with this ram spawn is gonna go for a peek, and he's gonna nail blocker with a beautiful angle here. And if we just pause and look at the other part of the map, we have Ariel and hltv. I think they want to go for some kind of mid default, or an A split or fake an A split, whatever their intentions were. They smoked short and window, and they're gonna molly con and throw a bunch of flashes out. But with Wendigo showing presence here, hltv is just gonna call for Ariel to run back, to join the execute, and let him linger or stay around for the information. So, you know, a few seconds gonna pass, Alexi doesn't really know anything, but I guess he has his suspicions that like at least one guy is still lingering around. And this is actually going to get confirmed. You know, right now Ence is sort of just waiting for hltv to either act or peek or get any info. And Blocker is going to give this to him, because for some reason he's going to decide to resmoke here. So if we pause again and we just look at what Ence actually know, they know that there's a guy at the very top of middle, and they know there's a guy that was pushed back on A with a scout, since Alo actually peeked out all the way around. So the guy with the scout can be excluded from the round completely with just one piece of utility, or if you just like gangbang up on him. And even if they have to take the fight with him or another side player, you just have to do the hard bidding that is trade, and you know that's actually not that hard when you play against a buy such as this, and if you're cooperative and work together. So they're just gonna go for a default exec. Don't think they actually had a city smoke, so they're just gonna smoke bench and stairs there. And they're gonna molly, let's see here, molly sandwich, molly bench, and he's gonna molly shadow or fail it. So exec comes in, he catches the guy trying to play the smoke, and now they just go together. Wendigo, you know, don't want to play retake here, so poison and blocker gets caught out, just trying to find any fights, and Victor gets easily traded, just getting the one kill. So even though Wendigo had super fast rotates and committed to the fight super fast, Ence used hltv and his wits, as well as what was provided and what was probable, and managed to clinch around with ease. Just to sort of recap Ence's understanding of the game and how they approach some of these rounds. I'm gonna show the last 2 rounds of Mirage here against Valiance. So beginning around 26 here, we're gonna see a trick or trick and trick. In this fashion, especially the old Fnatic lineup used to do it, like back in 2016, but it's also very reminiscent of what they did on Train. So they're gonna have Alo sitting in front of the pillar smokes here, but essentially what they're doing is they have X7 just faking or masking this default again, and then they're gonna transition into the full B hit. Now it's true that there's no like showcase of Ence anywhere else on the map, but the hit is coming in so fast that it's just right on the timing that like off a default and not being read as a fast B, even though that's how it works and, you know, essentially it's played out. So I don't know if they've rehearsed this round or not, but X7 just drops his smoke to be able to jump out, gets stopped anyway. hltv just runs through site here, Lightning with a great shot. In the middle of all of this, Ariel manages to swing out for one, gets red instantly. Sergey catches one on the backside. Alo with his pretty well timing flank gets one. Sergey with a good Molotov gets another. And it's not just going to be too much for Esperanto to hold on to this. A great flash from Alo just to take this angle and wreck Esperanto. So, smart idea, simple idea, great read, but sloppy execution and initial performance. But through great teamwork and realization of the position the enemy were in, they still clinch around. Moving on to the final round here, and know that Valiant's economy is broken, so they shouldn't afford any rifles alone and up. So with this in mind, they decide to go dry out in heavy mid, knowing that the chance is high that Valiance will either live mid pretty much open, or contest it heavily if they wanted to fight. So Valiance is actually going to try to go for this like surprise 2-man peeker with Otto and Esperanto, but you know, with 3 guys just shifting up or 4 guys you don't expect it, and they're going to come out with a 2-for-1 trade. Anyway, Alo makes his way up jungle while his teammates keep playing methodical and denying rotates and info mid. So with, you know, they hear the utility 100 as expected, it's a 4v2 already. And you know, by now they have pretty much A cleared, and they're just gonna clean up against the pistols easily. Like, rounds such as this is literally like the definition of how you play smart, efficient and correct CS, while just keeping it simple. It's not over simple, it's not complicated in any way, it's straightforward. You can actually really tell just the idea they had when they executed this, or what LXP was thinking. But it's still working to such a great level, and this is what probably makes Ence a real top 10 team in the future.